We will start with the first concept, how to create lightning applications, how to create lightning components. First we'll start with how to build lightning application. If you want to understand what are the predefined components are there, if you want to know what are the attributes are there, what we can do is go to your domain name. After the domain name, whatever the domain name you have, go to your domain name. After the domain name, you give component reference / suit.api. If I give, go to your lightning, after your domain name, give domain name / component reference / suit.app. Component dot when you go to these, all the predefined lightning components as well as the components what you created in the lightning in your org, they will also be visible. It is not only the components which are created by the Salesforce, but also it shows you the list of components which you have designed in your org. All those list of components will be displayed to you. Right here, we have different namespace available here. This is the Lightning Web Component. This is what the Salesforce recently announced. Lightning Web Components. Now, what we are doing here is this. So here we have components. There are some components defined under the namespace of Lightning, Jura, Force, Force Shutter, Community, Lightning Community, Lightning, Lightning UI, Wave. So all these are the namespaces what we have. When you are learning a Visualforce pages, we had apex colon page, apex colon page block, apex colon page block section. So all those components are defined under the namespace of apex. Similarly, we had flow colon. Similarly, we had chatter colon. Similarly, we have community colon. So these specify the namespace. Now, what are the different namespaces we have? Lightning, Jura, Force. What we are going to use here, Lightning, Jura, Force, Lightning, UI. These are the some of the namespaces which we are going to use it frequently. Initially, as I told you, your Lightning was more of UI namespace. These are the elements which we used to use in 2014, 2015. 2014 to 16, almost 2014 to end of the 2016, your Lightning applications are built with the elements which are defined with the UI under the namespace of UI. Later on, enhancements came, then we started replacing those elements with Lightning. Whatever you are getting in the Lightning colon, same elements are also there in the UI colon. But when you go to the UI colon, there is no predefined CSS. So we used to apply Lightning design system to get the look and feel. So it is in the 2014 when the Lightning was came into existence, then we used to implement Lightning with the help of UI namespace. The look and feel is applied by using Lightning design system. Lightning design system, Salesforce SLDS, Lightning design system. There we had a CSS. We used to apply those CSS and get the look and feel. But in 2016 and after 2016, because of the complexity adoption is less, so the Salesforce replaced that UI namespace elements with new elements called Lightning colon. So whenever I am using this Lightning colon, it is having a built-in CSS. Instead of you manually applying the Salesforce Lightning design system, we are getting this Lightning design system look and feel inbuilt. That is how the adoption started going from 2016. Right, this is the basic story. Now, when you want to design any Visualforce page, how we used to design? every Visual Force page will start. Every Visual Force page will start with Apex page, end with Apex page. Every element we had in the Visual Force page has to obey strict XML format. Am I right? Now, every element in the VF page should obey strict XML format. Every Visual Force page will start and end with Apex page component. Similarly, when you want to design any Lightning application, every Lightning application will start with the element URA application. With the URA application. That URA is a namespace. URA application. Every Lightning application will start and end with URA application. Every application is a page. Now I told you, Lightning applications are nothing but single page application. Everything that you want to build has to be built on single page. So every application is one page. Every page is one application. Every page is one application. Every application is one page. Right. So if you want to build Lightning application, how we are supposed to do? Go to this. We have components. Under this, what we had? URA. Under the URA, we have a element called URA application. What is that component we had? We had a component called URA application. This is the element what we had. URA application. When I say URA application, what is the extension it is going to have? Look at the point. Whenever I build VF page, what is the extension of VF page? Page name dot VFP, Visual Force page. Am I right? When I build any Visual Force page, what is the extension we are going to get? VFP. Similarly, every Lightning application will have .app. Every Lightning application will have an extension of .app. Every Lightning application will have .app. Right. So next, look at the point. First element I am designing. Right. Let us see the theoretical notes of this. So what was that URA application? URA is a namespace. Application is a predefined component. Every Lightning application will start and end with URA application. Every page is a application. And every application is called page. Lightning applications will have an extension of .app. Right. Every element in the application should obey strict XML format. So this is the basic structure what we have. What is the navigation that we have for creating the Lightning application? Then navigation, right? Boss, if you start writing the notes, you will not be following my class. Now whatever I am typing is for you. You can log into my account, access the notes, right? If you are spending the time in putting everything on your book, neither you follow my explanation, nor you will be able to write the notes. Okay, so just listen to the conversation. Listen to the conversation. I'll be giving the. I have already given the username, password. You will log into my account and take the notes. Okay. So spend your time in listening to my conversation and doing only the examples. Right. Okay. Now, how do you build the Lightning applications? Developer console, new. Now till now what we have done, file, new, Apex classes, triggers, Visual Force component, static resources. This is what we have done in the classic. Now in the Lightning we are creating Lightning application, Lightning component, Lightning interface, event, tokens. Now we are building file, new, Lightning application. Lightning application. So here give the application here. Application name. If you look at this, there is a checkbox here. In case if I enable this checkbox, what will happen? This application can be used outside the Lightning. If I enable this option, if I enable the Lightning out dependency app, if I enable this Lightning application can be used in Visual Force pages. This Lightning application can be used in any outside the Lightning. It can be a third-party application. If you want this application to be embedded outside the Lightning, that may be a Visual Force, or that may be AngularJS, or React.js, or XYZ. Then this will be eligible for it. When enable, it can be extended in other applications outside the Lightning. Right, boss? Right now we don't need all this stuff. Create. The moment I create this, description file is created here. Two files will be created. One description, one app. So what is the name we got here? .app. When I say Lightning application, it comes with a bundle. When I say Lightning application, it comes with a bundle. What was that? Lightning application, controller, helper, style, documentation, renderer, SVG. Now, Lightning application bundle. When I say Lightning application bundle, every application will have associated controller, associated helper, associated style, associated documentation, renderer, and SVG. Right. So all this together is called Lightning application bundle. All of them together they are called Lightning application bundle. I hope you are good. Lightning application bundle. So tell me the navigation what we have. Setup. I can go with username. If you go to the Lightning setup, developer console, new, Lightning application, so when you create this, we are going to get Lightning bundle. Whenever we create Lightning application, it comes with bundle. What are those bundle of elements? First one, application will come. Second one, controller. Third one, helper. Fourth one, style. Fifth one, documentation. Now already these functionalities you know it, but only the definitions are different, but already you know the functionalities of this. We had a similar type of functionalities used in the Visualforce, but there it's not specific to page, but here specific to this application we design the structures. Then we have renderer and SVG. Now, when you look at this, application is an XML file. What we are creating, I told everything in the application should be strict XML format. Controller is a JavaScript. If you want to write any client-side logic, helper, JavaScript file. Style is CSS. Documentation, in case you want to define any documentation for this. Design is okay. How to use this? What are the properties of this? Renderer, it is also JavaScript. Now it is like your re-render, rendered. We have a concept called render, okay, re-render. But here we have before re-render, after re-render, after re-rendered, okay, rendered, before rendered, after rendered, after re-rendered, before re-rendered. Like a trigger, we have multiple events here. In the trigger, we have before and after events, right? In the Visualforce page, what we have? Only rendered, okay, rendered, re-rendered. Here we have before rendered, after rendered, okay, before rendered, after rendered, okay, after re-rendered, before re-rendered. Like this, we have different actions. Okay. SVG, in case if you want to use any icons, symbols, images, when you say section header, on the top you get one book symbol, right? That's what icon. So the type of icons you want to use, special symbols you want to use, then we get here. Settings means you are getting a symbol, setting symbol, drop down list. All these are called as icons, the SVG icons. Now if you want to design your own icons, or you want to refer to the existing ones, we go with the SVG. Right, boss? So application will come with a bundle of 7 elements. What are they? Application, controller, helper, style, documentation, renderer, SVG. Whether you use or not, this will be. Whether you use or not, this will be created. Whether you use or not, this will be created. Now, this is how we got it. Just for quick understanding, I'll also show from the, let us say, I'm just using some Salesforce DX. Even if you design from here, now we are creating a components here. Even when you create a component or application here, automatically what happened? The bulk of elements will be coming here. Look at this component, CSS, a design, SVG. Are you getting a point? Whether you create from the DX, whether you create from the Eclipse, whether you create from developer console, by default, when application is created, automatically this bundle will be created. You may or may not define the properties of every element, but bundle is by default created. Bundle is by default created irrespective of from where you are creating. Irrespective of from where you are creating, this bundle is automatically created. Okay. Now come back to the next one. So we have created a Lightning application. Every component will have some attributes, like how we have Apex page, standard controller, Okay, help, action, this type of attributes are there. Similarly, we are also having some attributes for the Lightning application. When you are creating a Lightning application, what are the attributes we have? First, what are the attributes we have? Try to understand one by one attribute. The first point what we need to discuss here is access. What do you mean by access? Now, if you want an Apex class to be used in the VF page, we define the access modifier for the Apex class, right? What we say, public or global can be used in the VF page. When you create a variable or a method or a class, we say public, private, protected, global. Similarly, you are creating a Lightning application. Now the question is, can I use this Lightning application within my namespace, outside my namespace? When you are creating this Lightning application, where can I use? Can I use this application within the namespace or outside the namespace? Why namespace? I told you, if you are planning to deliver your functionality to outside the organization, we have to create a package and give it. If you are creating any namespace, every element should be used with the help of namespace. Now the question is, whatever the application you are creating, can I use this application within the namespace or outside the namespace? That is defined by access. The first attribute what we have? Access. This will specify scope of the application. Possible values. Public. If we define access as public, this application can be used within the namespace. We had global. If we define access as global, this application can be used within the namespace then the next attribute we have controller. So what is this controller? If you want any Apex class to be used in the application, then we define. There also we are using as a controller. In the Lightning application also, if you want to refer to any Apex class, that should be defined as controller. We cannot refer every Apex class that is in the Visual Force, that is in the Apex programming. There are only specific Apex classes which we can create. There is a annotation called @ this type of Apex classes only can be used. If you want to use any Apex class in the in the Lightning application, then we define it as a controller. So here again, this will specify the name of the Apex class. Which we want to use. How many Apex classes? Only one controller can be used. Whatever the attributes I am defining for application, almost the same attributes will repeat for 5 to 10 components. So if you understand for one component, the rest of the topics, no need to re-explain. The same properties will be applied. Okay, controller. So access, controller. Then we have the third one, description. Now you wanted to give a description about the application what we are giving. It is an optional, not mandatory. Now next one is important. Look at the next properties. Extends. Now can this application extend another application? If this application want to extend the properties of another application, like how the class will extend another class, like this lightning application can extend another application, right? Lightning application can extend another application. Extends. Now app can be extended. This is to extend another application. Lightning application can extend another application. The properties of another application. When I say properties of the other application, that application will have its controller, its helper, its SVG, all the bundle is there. Now if I want to extend my properties with another application, then I give extends. Extends. This is the name of the lightning application can extend how many application? Only one application. Only one application can be. So extends namespace lightning application can extend another application. Only one application can be extended. How we are giving? Extends equal to namespace : application. Now you are extending another application. Can you be extended by other people? Now you are extending another application. Now you are extending another application. Are you eligible for extension? Now let us say Apex class is there. When can I inherit another Apex class? Apex class can inherit another Apex class only when you define virtual. Am I right or no? Am I right? In the Apex programming, if I want to use an inheritance, what is the concept we are using? Only virtual classes can be inherited by another Apex class. Virtual class example. Then demo extends example. Only those classes which are defined as virtual, they can be inherited by another classes. Right? Now, what we are giving here? Extends. Here extensible. When I say extensible, this will specify is this application, can this application be extended by another application? Extensible. Now what is this? If I set it as true, this application is eligible for extension. Okay, another application can extend you. This is a Boolean value. When set as true, this application can be another application. Then next we had implements. If you want to implement any interface, we give it. So generally, how many interfaces we can extend? We can implement more than one. Just now I told an example, right? Out dependency app checkbox again. When you give that checkbox, corresponding interface will be used. Every checkbox that we have here at the time of creating lightning application or lightning component, every checkbox will have one interface. When I enable that interface will be implemented. So what is this implements? This will specify name of the interfaces, application is extended. Application can extend more than one interface. Then we have Next one, template. Now, if you already had some predefined template, the template I want to use here. I had a predefined template. I want to apply that template within this one. That can be a template of menu bar. Let us say in the Bootstrap, we have a menu bar. The same template I want to apply here. I have a drag and drop model which is already existing in the AngularJS. I want to include it. Or I want to design my own template, which I want to. Let's say when you go to your Lightning Web Component, everything is going to be a template based. Right. So if you want any template to be used in the application, if your application want to extend any one of the custom template you have designed, then we use a template. We use that name as template. Template equal to name of the template which you have designed, or name of the template which your application want to extend. I hope you're good. This will specify the name of the custom template that your application want to extend. Right. It's too early to discuss about the template. Just remember, it is used for extending a template. Then we had the next one as token. Now let us see this page. If you look at this documentation, the font sizes are fixed, right? The font sizes are fixed, colors are fixed. Now, every time they are designing a page, will they apply the CSS? Now, how much font they have given? What is that? They don't want to remember. So, they will design a tokens. Okay. Token what? Subtitle token, title token, description token. So, instead of giving all those CSS, simply they give us apply the token, background color, this token, font size, this token. So whatever the CSS we are giving, instead of remembering all the font size, color, background, everything, we define those CSS in the form of tokens. So that we remember the tokens, we can apply the same token on multiple pages, so that we get same structure and look and feel. So what was this? In case if you want to apply any tokens to get the same look and feel, we'll use it. Again, it's a separate concept. You just seen here. Lightning tokens. This is what we are going to create. This will specify the name of the tokens, want to apply. Application can extend more than one token. Right. Last ones, app cache. Now, when you're typing, automatically autofill will come, right? In the login page, when you're giving autofill, when you're filling the data, autofill of data. So we want cache. Now this is already deprecated, no more in use. The functionality is already deprecated. Okay. So these are the attributes what we have. These are the attributes what we have. So what are the attributes you have seen? Lightning application, Jura application. We have the attributes like access, controller, description, extends, extensible, implements, template, token. These are the properties what we have. When somebody say application bundle, it contains application, controller, helper, style, documentation, renderer, SVG. That's called application bundle. By default, a bundle will be created. I hope you're good with this. Now go back to this one. Then I am designing some message here. Then how do you preview it? What was that? When you click on the preview, how the application is going to be opened? Now your Visualforce page will be opened as salesforce.com/fx/page name. If you want to open your Visualforce page, how will you open? How will you open? Salesforce.com/apex/Visualforce page name. Similarly, if you want to open any one of the Lightning page, we need to give domain name /namespace/application name.app. So what is the URL of application? We had URL. So it is going to be domain name slash namespace slash application name dot app. Because we have not designed, if namespace is not defined, created, then custom namespace will come. What is that custom namespace? C. What is that custom namespace? C. Now, how your application is going to be? Your application is going to be domain name /c/ first example dot. Because I have not defined any namespace, my URL is your domain name /c/application name dot app. If you have created any namespace, domain name /namespace/application name dot app. I hope you are good with this. Am I clear with this one? This is the first one. Okay. Now, look at the point. Generally, if you want to create any tabs, how will you create? If you want to create any tabs, how will you create? A setup, platform tools, user interface. What are the different types of tabs we have? Right. What are the different types of tabs we have? Okay. Custom object tab, web tab, Visualforce tab, Lightning component tab, Lightning page tab. Lightning component tab, Lightning page tab. Now, if we implement the corresponding interface, we create a tab, and using the tab, we'll be able to access it. Are you getting my point here? If you create any interface, we are going to create an interface. Okay, there are a couple of interfaces required for us. Implement those interfaces, then the component will be available, or the page will be available, through which I will be able to create a tab. Because Visualforce pages are accessible to you through a tab. You, as being a developer, you are creating a Visualforce page, clicking on the preview. But being an end user, how are you using the Visualforce page? You are using the Visualforce page in 4 ways. Either creating a tab for a Visualforce page, overriding standard components, or creating a custom components on standard pages. That may be using standard buttons or custom buttons, or standard links or custom links. Overriding the standard links or creating a custom links, overriding the standard buttons or creating a custom buttons, right? Or as a sidebar components. Am I right or not? How you are calling your Visualforce pages? You are calling your Visualforce pages as a standard button, replacing the standard action with a button or link, creating a custom button or a custom link, creating them like a sidebar component, or creating them like a links on the pages. This is how we are creating either tabs, replacing the standard action with the custom Visualforce pages, or creating a custom actions with the Visualforce pages. Now, similarly, Lightning you have created. How are you going to use these Lightning things? We are going to create a tab for it, or we are going to add this to the existing pages. Most of our functionalities are going to be adding these components or application to the existing pages. Okay, there are 2 ways in which I will be invoking this Lightning functionality. One is tab, other one is adding this functionality on the existing page. There are 2 options. Either one is creating a tab for those components and accessing it. The second one is adding this functionality to the existing pages. And the Visualforce, I forgot to tell, adding the Visualforce page on page layout. Even on the page load, we can add the Visual Force page and show it. Okay, right, boss? I hope you are good with this one. Okay, so how these Lightning applications are, components are visible? Because being a developer, you clicked on preview, but end user will not click on the preview. So here, the end user is going to access this in the form of tab or in the form of adding this existing functionality to the existing pages. Either embed this functionality on existing page or create a tab. These are the two ways through which I will execute it. I hope you are good with this, right? Okay. So this is the quick basic information about Lightning application, the first example. Right. So when you took the Lightning application, what happened here? There is no a page. You need to align them. You need to organize as per your choice. You need to organize them as per your choice. I hope you are good. Right. The second one, what we have is component. What is the second one we have? Creating a components. What is a component? Reusable entity. What is a component? Reusable entity. Now we have Jura application. This is a predefined component. Whenever I want to create an application, I'll simply give Jura application. Application is getting created. So what was that? It is a reusable entity. It is a reusable entity. It is a reusable entity. Are you getting my point here? It is a reusable entity. It was built on what? Jura framework. Built on what? Jura framework. Now what is the namespace we are using? Jura. It's an open source framework. Jura framework. Let us get into the second component. What we have? What is the second component? Jura component. I hope everyone is good with the basics. Right. Now get into the Jura component. So what is this? It is called functional units of Jura. Now it is basically, in simple words, reusable section of the UI. When you say page block table, what is happening? When you say page block on the UI, it is creating a block. It is an element which we are reusing. It is going to create an entity on the UI. It is going to create an entity on the UI. Wherever I say page block, one block is getting created. Where it is adding on the UI part. Similarly, in the Lightning also, Jura component is a reusable entity. It is going to embed some part of entity on the UI. It is going to embed some action on the UI. That can be a user interface. There can be a button. There can be anything. Now components are functional units of Jura which will encapsulate modular reusable sections of UI. Okay, standard definition, but basically what is that? It is going to embed some functional units or components on the user interface. It is going to add some reusable entity. It is a reusable entity which is going to add some functional units on the UI. It is going to add some functional units on the UI. I hope you are good. Now, what will be there in this component? You are designing a component. Okay. When you learn about Visual Force pages, in the Visual Force pages I told what will be there in the Visual Force pages? Markup language, controllers. When I said markup language, we discussed Visual Force component, HTML, scripting elements. Controllers, we discussed standard controller, custom controller, extension, standard list controller. We told at the time of first class in the Visual Force page, what will be there on the Visual Force page? It consists of two elements. One is markup, other one is controller. When you said markup, it is a Visual Force components or scripting elements. Anything that is supported by the browser can be there on the VF page. Controllers, we discussed about standard controller, extension, standard list controller, standard set controllers. Similarly, when you go to the Lightning component, what will be there on the Lightning component? Lightning component consists of two elements. One is predefined components of Lightning. Predefined components of Lightning which are given by the Salesforce or HTML elements. The Lightning can have HTML elements or Lightning components which are defined by the Salesforce. I hope you are good with this. So Lightning component consists of what? It consists of either HTML or components defined by Salesforce. There are two elements which can be there in this. Okay. Now let us go back to this. You're a component. Right. Let me take a standard definition. Then they can contain other components. Standard. They can contain other components which are defined by the Lightning or which are defined by you. The component which you created that can be embedded, or the component which is defined by the Salesforce can also be included. Right, boss. Components will have extension of .cmp. Component will have an extension of .cmp. Component will come as a bundle. Component will come as a bundle. Now let us see. File, new, Lightning component. First comment. Now I told you, don't touch any one of these. All of them are interfaces. We'll be discussing one by one. Right now I am not touching any one of them. All of them are internally interfaces. Create. What is the extension we had? Dot. So what is the bundle? Component, controller, helper, style, documentation, renderer, design, SV. There is one more element called design. Application has only 7, whereas here it has 8. Application has only 7, whereas here it has 8. Now, so I told you most of the things are going to be exactly same. I don't want to type it again and again. Try to cover it up. This all the points are going to be right. Now let us go back to this. Component will come as a bundle. So what is that bundle? Component. Next is component will come as bundle, component, controller. So here it is going to be an XML format. Component, controller, helper, style, documentation, renderer, SVG, design. Now attributes same. Only the difference is instead of application I have to replace as component. Access. It will specify whether a component is accessible within the namespace or outside the namespace. Public within the namespace, global within the namespace and outside the namespace. Then we have controller. It will specify which Apex class you want to use in the component. Exactly the same attribute. Only the difference is instead of application I have to make it as component. Now, description, specify the description about the component. Extends. If a component want to extend another component, lightning component want to extend another component, we use extends. How many components you can extend? Only one component. Now, namespace colon. I don't think again explanation is required for this. We had elaborated explanation on the application level. Extensible, when you make it as true, this component can be extended by another component. Then implements, this will specify the list of interfaces that component one is implementing. Then component can implement more than one interface. Template your component want to use. Tokens. So the same to same. Attributes are same. Look at the point once again. Access, controller, description, extends, extensible, implements, template, tokens. Access will tell accessible within the namespace, outside the namespace. Controller, which Apex class you want to use. Description about the component. Extends, this component want to extend another component. Give the name of the component, what it want to extend. Extensible, can some other component extend you? Depends upon the value what we specify. Implements, what are the interfaces that your component is implementing? Template, if your component want to use any predefined template, then we give template here. Tokens, any one of the predefined CSS tokens you want to use, we mention the name of those tokens. This is the quick properties of the component. So application bundle is coming with 7 elements. Component bundle is coming with 8 elements. What is the difference that we find? Design. Okay. Then what is the navigation for creating this? Navigation, same story boss. Only the difference what we had here. Instead of selecting lightning application, you are supposed to select lightning component. You selected lightning application there, we need to select lightning component. This is how we created. Right. Now, component cannot be called directly like an application. If it is an application, you clicked on preview, we got the output. But component output cannot be viewed like this. If you want to see the output of the component, either component should be added in the application and have a view of application. Second, create a tab for the component and see the output. Third one, add the component to the application or any one of the standard functionality. So we cannot view the output of the component straight away. Like application is there. I created an application, clicked on the preview, I was able to see the output. But when you design a lightning component, you cannot see the output directly. Either you have to add the component to an application or create tab for an application component, or add this component in the lightning application, the lightning app builder, or add the component to the any one of the record home page or app page. Right. Let us see the next. How to preview. Include, add the component, invoke the component from, or create a lightning component tab, component to record page or home page or app page. So if you want to see the functionality what you have designed, the lightning component what you designed, either we have to include the component in the application and invoke it, or create a tab for the component and use it, or include the lightning component on the record page or home page or app page and view it. These are the ways in which I will preview the functionality of the component which we designed. Right now we have only learned one concept, how to create a lightning application. So now we are going to view the output only from application. Down the line when the course goes, we will see how to create a tab, how to include the lightning component in the record home page or home page, okay, record page or home page or app page. That we see down the line with respect to the topics what we cover. Fine. Then I told the first topic, what is that? Invoke the component from application. Already we know how to create an application. We want to call this component within the application and view it. Now, how do you call a component? How do you call a component within the application? Look at the point. C colon. If you want to call it, first namespace colon component. We are going to call namespace colon component. Generally, namespace will be small capital. Right. If you don't create any namespace, default namespace is C. Namespace is not created. I hope you are good with this. This is how we have created. So either create a namespace, call with a namespace colon component name. If namespace is not created, then we are going to have C colon your component name. So look at this. Let us go to the first example. First component. Right. Now there is no option called a preview here. So what I was supposed to do? Create lightning application. We have C colon. As there is no namespace, we are using C. Now have a preview. This is what we got here, last name, first name, and so created a component, invoking the component within the application. Created a component, invoking the component within the application. I hope you are good with this. So what is an application now? Application is a collection of components. Application is a collection of components. Right, boss? Application is a collection of components. In the classic we used to say application is a collection of tabs. But here the application is a collection of components. Right? I hope you're good. I hope I'm good with this example. Now let us build couple of examples. So let me build some examples here. Now when you want to refer my examples, So generally the naming convention what I give, whatever the topic I am covering, underscore example number. This will be the naming convention. When you're referring to the programs, when you want to refer to the programs, the naming convention I give for my programs is topic name underscore example 1, example 2, example 3, or if any subtopics are there, I'll be giving topic name. This is how the naming convention will be given. When you are referring to the programs, you can refer in this format. Now, how do you open the Lightning programs? What we designed? File, open Lightning resources. Now, this is how we'll be finding. Application, component, select it, open select it, right boss? If you want to refer to it. Chalo, let's get into the third one. So, application is a collection of component. Component is a collection of HTML and other components. So let us build few examples here. So how many elements are getting created? One is a description, other one is the component. What is the purpose of div? Div is like a block. Div is one separate block. Every div will be printed in a new line. Every div will be printed in a So I have designed a component here. The second component. So I had component 1, component 2, component 3. So I was creating a main component. So what I was trying to do, invoke the components within this. How do you call? Component. Basically, component is a collection of other components or HTML. Okay, it's a collection of HTML and other components. So if I want to preview this output, then there is either create the application or any other choice I give. Right now we are going with only application structure. So file, new. So we are going to call the parent component. What is the parent component? Component dot example. Component example 1 have a preview. So we got the collection of components, the basic example, right? So just want to convey that component is a collection of other components and HTML elements. So we can call a component within a component. We can call a component within a component, right? I hope you are good with this. Okay. Now the major story here, you are creating a component, very good. But how do you define the properties of the component? You are designing a component, very good. But what is the purpose of calling that component? Now, when I say page block, I'll give title, direction, mode, okay, tab style. So I can apply my own properties on this. It gives a template. On the template, my property should be applied. Similarly, you are creating a component. For this component, how will you define the attributes, properties of this component? Now, look at the point. When I am designing a component, I want to say, see, student, I have to give. I want user to enter the data. I want the user to enter the data. So what was that? Student is a component, last name is a property, first name is a property. How will you define these properties? These properties are defined like an attribute. When you are creating a component, we should know how to create attributes of a component. How to create attributes of a component. So let us understand. Creating a component. For the component, we want to create attributes. These attributes are called as local storage. Now, whatever the data in the class, if I want to store the data, what I will do? Public integer age, public string name. What that variables are doing? Holding the data that is required for running that operation. Am I right? When I call a method, the data required to run this operation is stored in that variables. Similarly, the component, whatever the local data that has to be holded, okay, that should be hold, okay, that we want to hold for the component, that we are going to put in a attributes. The local data what I want to hold for a component, that I am going to store in the form of attributes. I hope you got my point here. So we want to design attributes and we want to design properties of the component. Look at the context now. So here we had attribute. So let us look at these properties now. Basically, when you want to go for attribute, what properties will be there? Name of the attribute, data type of the attribute, is it required or not required? Now, let us compare. I'm just giving a comparison with Visual Force every time. If I give this, what it says? Error, required attributes missing. Now, what are the required attributes? Value. These are required attributes. Now, if I don't enter, they say these are errors. But other properties are there. Rules. If I don't give a rules, it will not throw any error. If you want to apply row-wise lines, you can apply. If you want to apply column-wise lines, you can apply. It is not mandatory. Value is a mandatory. Var is a mandatory. Now we have other attributes. Cell padding. It is not mandatory. Cell spacing. Not mandatory. There are so many other attributes which are not mandatory. Now, if you want to apply, you can apply, otherwise you can leave. But at the time of creating an attribute, we have to tell what is the name of attribute, what type of value it is expecting, value, what it is expecting, list of rules, what type of value it is expecting, rows, right, cell padding, what type of value it is expecting, number. Is expecting integer value. Now, what is the name of the attribute? What type of value they are expecting? Is it a required or not? What is the default value? Now, I keep on saying in the VGF page, show header. Every time are we giving show header equal to true? No, we are not giving. If you don't define, default value will be taken. Now, for your attribute, what is the default value that you are trying to mention? So, name of the attribute. What type of value it is expecting, is it a required or not, what is the default value you want to give, then what is the description, okay, for the people to understand what it is going to store. So, name of the attribute, type of the attribute, name, type, required or not, default value. Name, type, required or not, default value. These are mandatory for us to understand. I hope you are good with this. People have followed this. People have followed this. Okay, that's what the documentation also says. Now, the major point what we need to understand here is what type of data types are supported. You told type. What type of values are supported? Is it supporting integer? Is it supporting long? Is it supporting date? Is it supporting time? What type of data types it is supporting? That we need to look at. So what are the properties of era attribute? Access. Now what is that? Can I use this within the namespace, outside the namespace? Okay, or only for this particular component. The name of the attribute, type of the attribute, default value, required, description. This is what we discussed. Name, type, default, required, description. What type of data types are supported here? All the primitive types are supported. All the primitive types are supported. What are they? Boolean, date, date time, decimal, double, integer, long, string, plus URA method, component, object, list. What we got here? So all the primitives plus URA method plus methods, components, list, object. What are the different data types that are supported for this? They are not mentioned here. Only primitive they have given. Apart from this, we also get components, methods, list, object. Components, methods, list, object. So what are these data types that are supported by the URA attribute? I hope you are good with this. Am I clear? Okay. So what is the purpose of this? This is to create properties for a component or an interface or an event. Attribute is for what? Creating a properties for application. When you want to go for it, they can be used for defining a properties for application, interface, component, or an event. In all the four cases, we may create our own attributes. For event, for interface, for application, for a component. If you want to define any properties, then we are going to use this. I hope everyone is good with this. Clear for everyone? Right? So I guess I'll just try to show existing document to make it easier. It was an attribute. So first we had URA attribute. What was that? We defined under the namespace of then we had second one. URA attribute is used to create properties for app, interface, component, or event. Then what are the attributes we had? Access. This will specify whether attribute is used within the namespace or outside the namespace. Possible values are await, public, default value, public keys, Public is a default value. Default value is public. The next we had name. Next one is a name. Name is a required attribute. This will specify name of the attribute. This is a required attribute. Then we had type. Type will specify data type of the attribute. Of the attribute. This is a required attribute. It is also mandatory. Possible values, and we also have component list as object. These are advanced levels. These are advanced levels. First we'll be starting with the primitives, then we go for the advanced levels. Down the line, like how you define standard control equal to account. Here also we have LDS concepts. Then we'll be using S objects. Default value. Then description. Right. Required. You want to make it as mandatory. So what are the attributes we had? Access, name, type, default, description, required. These are the attributes what we have. How you define now? How you define? URA, attribute, name, impede. Generally, attributes are going to follow lower camel. Lower camel naming convention. The naming convention for attribute should be lower camel. See, if you give upper camel, there is no issue. There is a difference between a good programmer and a programmer. Right? You need to obey certain standards of your program. In case if you are building an app exchange product, in case you want to launch as a package and want to sell it, all these things will be taken into consideration for the review. Right? Now, as long as you are working on a service-oriented application, right, you are happy. When you get into the product level development, when you want to get into product level development, the programming norms are going to be taken into consideration while it goes for a review. Right? There, we need to specify the naming conventions and everything. Okay, the security measures and naming conventions, what we are taking. Now, URA attribute, type, string, default, then we had now, can I split the visual force element into multiple lines? Can I split the visual force element into multiple lines? Is it valid or invalid? Sure? Sure? Right. Now, so the same structure is applied here. because I'm writing in a multiple lines. Don't say it's an error message. Okay. So this is how we are giving it. Now ERA attribute, name of the attribute, type of the attribute, default, description, required. Right. This is how we are going to define an attribute for a component. So let us do an example. Let us do an example how to create a component with a couple of attributes. We have to just design a component. We want to define some attributes for the component. Let us get into the examples. Component attributes 1. So how we are defining it? Now, so what was this? That is deleted here. So we have created the component. Then what is the use of giving this attribute? At the end of the game, you are supposed to print the values. You have created a component. You have defined attributes. But what is the use of it unless you display it? Now we are creating a component and we are trying to take the values. But the question here is, how do you print the values? Generally, in the Visualforce page, if you want to print the value, we use formula expression. Right. In the Lightning, every attribute is referred as v dot attribute name. If you want to refer to the attribute in the Lightning, we are supposed to refer with the v dot attribute name. So how we are going to display here? Here we have v dot So if you want to print the values of an attributes, we are supposed to create v dot attribute name and print it. If you want to refer to any attribute, we are supposed to give v dot attribute name. Now, what I was supposed to do? Invoke this in the application. So go back to the Lightning application. We go with C dot. Then I give EMP name. So I was creating a component. So I was designing a component and I was invoking the component within the application. It is called a reusable entity. It is called a reusable entity. Have a preview. This is how we are getting the data. Previously, age was not given, so default value we receive. Experience was not given, a blank. So this is how. So at the time of invoking a component, we are passing the values. At the time of invoking a component, we are passing the values. I hope you are good, right? Am I clear? Let us do one or two examples on it, then we move forward. So start implementing these two exercises. What I asked you to create? Your component, raw attribute, name equal to last name. So what is the error? Domain name should be enabled, no? Domain is a mandatory, right? If you want to run the Lightning application, it's a must that we need to go for domain name. Domain name is a must. Without creating the domain name, we cannot do it. Created a component. Your application. This I have created the application. Don't copy. If you're not followed, we'll repeat one more time. There is no use in copying the programs. Don't be a DTP operator. Right. The second code. Done with the first one. Everyone has done with the first. Okay. Let us go with the second one. So we are trying to create two different components, trying to invoke within the application. The use case 2, create two different components. Create two different components and invoke within the application.
Satish, why there is no intelligent support? Like when you type Aura.
This is not typing in a VF page, no?
No, even I just did the first example. So when I am invoking, let's say when you type.
They are not mentioning it. They are not giving it.
It means everything we need to type?
Obviously. When you go to lightning colon, you will get again lightning colon UI colons will be getting. The Euro colon you're not getting, but when you go to lightning colon and UI colon, you get the auto size.
Okay.
So let us go to the next. Similarly, create the second components, shipping details. I ask you to collect city, state, invoke this in the application. We have created two different components and we are invoking the components within the application. So basically, we have seen how to create a component, how to create a basic attributes. Only the basic attributes you have seen, and how to invoke them within the application. How to invoke them within the application. How to invoke them within the application. I hope you are good with these examples. People are good with these examples, boss. Let us take some break and come back.